Hey, it's Tara, your yoga bestie, and got a great class for you today. Today, I don't have any place that you have to start in, not that I ever really do, but reclined, seated, child's pose, whatever's calling your name. We won't be using any props in particular, but as you probably know, I love to have two blocks if available or something similar, just because it allows us to have the ground come closer to us. But go ahead and make your way into whatever comfortable position that you'd like to come into to check in with your breath. If you're in a seated position, you can sit up nice and tall, maybe placing your hands onto your knees. And then we'll close our eyes as we start to tap into our Ujjayi breath. So inhaling and exhaling through the nose. Taking this time to connect with our breath. It'll be our energy source throughout our practice. As we inhale, we'll feel the space right below the navel start to lift. As it draws upward, we're feeling an expansion through the belly, the side bodies, the rib cage, and that breath draws all the way up to where it lifts the collarbones. And then on your exhalation, you'll feel your belly button draw in towards the spine, allowing you to use all three parts of the lungs. Our Ujjayi breath is an audible breath, so you're gonna hear a snoring like sound in the back of the throat, kind of like you're fogging up a mirror with your nose. And see if you can create a rhythm where we inhale and exhale at the count of 3, 4, 5, 6. Just see what kind of space is available and just know that that's going to fluctuate throughout the practice anyway. The most important thing is that we're breathing so that we can remain present. And if we start to notice that our mind is wandering, that's a good indication to see what's going on with the breath. But while you're tuning in, we've been talking about the chakras in my class. We're currently in the 7th chakra, also known as the Crown Chakra, because it's location at the top of the head. It's associated things with like the color violet or bright white. And you might think of it as a light bulb that you see above your head like you do in a cartoon, only instead of ideas, it's pure wisdom and clarity. So it just gives you all of the information without actually thinking about it. So that's why our crown chakra is so related to meditation and why I really emphasize the breath so that we can create a moving meditation so that we're completely present. And that if anytime, because we're humans, anytime that doesn't happen, it's perfectly fine to back off or take a break to reconnect with that breath. The affirmation I have for you that goes along with our 7th chakra, our crown chakra, is I release attachment and embrace stillness. So if you start to notice in your practice anything that you feel attached to, a place in the pose, being able to do something, a mindset you go to, can you give yourself permission just to let it go, maybe even find a position of stillness and just concentrate on that present moment, on that breath? Because the more that we can do that on our mats, the more we're able to do that off the mats, which is really when we need to tap into this practice. Am I right? Yeah, it definitely is. So again, that's I release attachment and embrace stillness. On your next inhale, let's find some movement. So whatever movement comes to mind, feels organic, just kind of check in with the body. And we're gonna make our way into a seated position where we'll bring our hands together at our heart center, our Anjali Mudra, as we set our intention for our practice. And maybe that intention is using our affirmation of I release attachment and embrace stillness. Or maybe something else comes to mind that speaks to you. Please honor that. And let's take another big breath in here. Exhale, let it go. And then when you're ready, we'll open up the eyes. We're gonna come into a butterfly position. So we'll bring the soles of the feet together. You'll determine how close you want your seat and heels to be. Your knees will probably tell you if your hips are not liking the idea of the feet being too close. So you can always make more of a diamond shape. And it's early on, so maybe it changes throughout the practice. But once you find your shape, maybe you start to walk your hands forward. You could always have blocks underneath your hands or any other props that make it more accessible. And just let your chin draw in towards your chest as you breathe into the hips and the lower back. Two breaths here as we inhale. Exhale. Big breath in. And exhale. So we'll make our way upright. We're gonna reach our arms up overhead. Gaze can be up towards the fingertips. And as we exhale, we're gonna scissor the arms. So we're gonna twist towards the right. So right arm comes behind, left arm comes forward. Your gaze might be towards that thumb. Taking a full breath in. Exhale. And then on our inhale, bring that right hand down. We're going to come onto our knees as we face the back of the mat, reaching the left arm up, setting up for our thread the needle. So we'll tuck that left arm underneath the right as we bring our left ear or temple onto the mat. You can always add if you have any other additions that you want to include here. When we incorporate this in our sequence, we will just move through it. So maybe you stay where I am right now. Maybe that feels good. Just keep tucking that shoulder under. Breathing into that upper back. One more breath in. Exhale. And then push into that right hand so that you can reach the left arm forward, the right leg back, coming into spinal balance. And then from the spinal balance, we'll bring our elbow and knee together. Inhale, we extend. Exhale, bring it in. Once more, we'll inhale. Exhale, bring it in. And then we'll bring that left hand down as we bring that foot all the way through for our runner's lunge. So if you're like me and you like your blocks to each side of the foot, you might go ahead and bring them there as we start to shift forward and back from a runner's lunge to a pyramid-like pose. So feel free to have that knee down, or it can be lifted, whatever feels best in your practice today. The next time that we shift it forward, go ahead and keep that back knee lifted, moving into our one-legged mountain. So we'll bring that right knee in towards our chest. Hands could come to heart, or you can reach those arms up overhead. And as you lift up this leg, make sure that you're flexing through the foot and drawing it towards the center line of the body. That's where we have more stability. Big breath in. And then on our exhale, step it back, setting up for our reverse warrior. So we're in warrior two legs, so our hips are square to that long edge of the mat. And the right arm is going to reach up and over as we breathe into that right side body. Big breath in. As we exhale, straighten through that leg. And we're coming into a wide twist, so all 10 toes will face towards that long edge as the right hand comes down and the left arm reaches up, so we're twisting towards the front of our mat. Shifting our weight forward so we're not sitting back into the heels. Big breath in. And then as we exhale, go ahead and bring it to where your right fingertips are facing towards the front of the mat. And then we'll bring that right leg in front of the left leg as we bring both hands down. So we're in a reverse table. So we're lifting up as we keep that leg extended. That's our inhale. As we exhale, it's like we're doing a tricep push-up as we draw that knee in towards our nose. Inhale, we extend. Exhale, bring it in. Inhale. Exhale. And then we'll lower that seat, bringing the right leg over as we come into a variation in between a horizon lunge and a side plank. So we kind of create a rainbow shape as we reach that arm overhead. Right toes are facing that long edge of the mat. Maybe just lift and lower a few times, breathing into that outer right hip. Next time we lift it up, gaze towards the back of your mat. Take a step to the back with that right foot for half moon. So we'll open it up towards the back, flexing through that left foot. Big breath in here. And then on our exhale, find your forward fold. So bring the feet together, come into that forward fold, maybe shake the head out. Check in with your breath. You can separate your feet about hip distance apart or 2 fists in between the feet. One more big breath in. Exhale. And then we'll lower our seat all the way down as we come back into that butterfly shape. So you might already feel a little bit more open if that's the case. You can always bring those heels in closer towards the body. And your choice, you can stay upright or you can walk those hands forward, breathing space into the lower back. One more big breath in. Exhale. And then we'll reach the arms up overhead as we inhale. Exhale, we scissor those arms as we twist towards the left. Gaze might be towards that back thumb. Big breath in. Exhale. And then inhale, lower that left hand down. We'll swivel ourselves to where those knees come onto the mat, setting up for that thread the needle. So reaching that arm up overhead. Exhale, thread that arm underneath the left. And again, you can always add on from here or just hang out here. Just kind of notice what's going on in this practice. Big breath in. Exhale. And then we'll reach that right arm forward, left leg back as we come into our spinal balance. We inhale. Exhale, bring it to center. Inhale, we extend. Exhale, bring it in. Inhale, we extend. Exhale, bring it in, and we'll bring that right hand down as we bring that left foot all the way through, coming into our runner's lunge. So we'll start to shift forward and back. If you like blocks like me, could have them there. And just kind of notice from one side to the next, the subtle differences that take place. Listen to what each side needs in the moment. That's what's most important. Yeah, next time that we shift it forward, hold it here in this runner's lunge, and then we're moving into that one-legged mountain. So bring that right knee in towards your chest, flexing through the foot as you draw it towards the center line of the body. Big breath in. Exhale, step that foot back like warrior two legs. Inhale, going right into our reverse warrior. Keep softening that forward knee as you keep a strong and straight back leg. Inhale. As we exhale, straighten that leg. Bring that left hand down as we open it up towards the back of the room. So coming into this wide twist. Inhale. As you exhale, bring those fingertips towards the back of the mat, and then bring your left leg in front of your right as you bring both hands to where those fingers are facing forward, lifting up as we inhale. Reverse table variation. Exhale, knee draws in as we lower. So we're taking these reverse table push-ups. That's what I'm calling them. And after you've done 3, lower that seat, bring that leg over so we come into that, so towards the side of the mat as we come into that variation of side plank meets horizon. And maybe we lift and lower a few times here. Next time we reach it over, go ahead and step it forward with that left foot. Maybe find your block or a prop as we come into our half moon, opening it up, really flexing through that right foot. Big breath in. And then as we exhale, bring that right hand down, bring the right foot down, find your forward fold, let that go. Inhale, let's roll it all the way up. We'll reach those arms up and back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, we lengthen halfway. And then let's plant the palms as we step it back into our plank pose. Nice and strong, working that weight forward so we're not sitting near the heel of the hand or near the wrist. Big breath here. And then as we exhale, lower all the way down onto your belly. And if you're like me and you have a little slumber party around you, move that stuff out of the way because we're going to need space because we're creating an X with our body. So perfect time to spill water bottles and all that kind of stuff. So bring your forehead down, bring your arms and your legs towards the center. And then as we inhale, we lift and open. Exhale, we close. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Splat. So take a big breath in, maybe just kind of wiggle through the hips a little bit. And then we'll bring our hands underneath our shoulders, tucking those toes under as we make our way into our first down dog of the practice. And in that down dog, start to bicycle the legs, or you might move your hips from side to side with your knees bent, just opening up in any way that feels good this first time here. Notice what your breath is doing. So oftentimes when we're upside down, we start to hold the breath. So really pay attention to those inhales and exhales. Full breath in. Exhale. And then we soften the knees as we gaze forward. We'll either walk or float to the front. Inhale, we lengthen halfway. Exhale, forward. Let's reverse. We'll reach it up and back. Exhale, coming into that forward fold. Inhale, we lengthen halfway. Hands plant as we step or float back. Lowering or hovering. Inhaling into your cobra or up dog. Exhaling into your down dog. And take a full breath in. Exhale. Softening those knees, we gaze forward as we step or float to the front. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, forward fold. Let's reverse. Reach it up and back. Exhale, forward. Inhale, we lengthen. Hands plant as we step or float it back. Lowering or hovering. Inhale into your cobra or up dog. Exhaling, down dog. Big breath in. Exhale, soften the knees, gazing forward as you step or float to the front. Inhale, we lengthen. Exhale, forward fold. You can stay in your forward fold or whatever position you want to hang out in for a little bit. That concludes our warm-up for today. And if your first thought is, that's a lot for a warm-up, you're not wrong. And that's because all the poses that we do in our warm-up, we bring into the 2 main sequences. So if you're new to my practice, I teach what I call the peanut butter and jelly method. So they both have the same format. We go through one sequence. It's a little bit slower. Maybe there's detours to it. And then we repeat it 2 times at more of a breath pace. That's peanut butter. We do the exact same thing for jelly. And then my favorite part of the practice comes, which we call peanut butter and jelly time, where we bring the 2 sequences together for one long, delicious peanut butter and jelly sequence sandwich. It's awesome. All right. So we're starting out in mountain today. So go ahead and come to the front of your mat. Let go of any worries. Let's check in with our affirmation. I release attachment and embrace stillness. I release attachment and embrace stillness. All right, it's peanut butter time. Inhale, left knee draws into chest as arms reach up overhead. Really flexing through that foot as you find your focal point or drishti to focus on. Inhale. As we exhale, step it back. So we're coming into those warrior 2-like legs so that on our inhale, we'll find that reverse, reaching it up and back as we keep that big bend in the forward leg. And find a focal point that feels best to your neck. Big breath in. Exhale, we'll straighten that leg. All toes face that long edge as we bring that right arm down. Left arm comes up, stacking shoulder on top of shoulder as we twist towards the back. Inhaling. Exhale. And then bring your fingers to where they're facing towards the back. Right leg will come in front of that left leg as we come into our reverse table with that extended leg. That's our inhale. Exhale, knee draws in as we lower. Inhale, straighten. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, and then bring that right leg over. We'll come into that side plank horizon lunge variation, and feel free to lift and lower a few more times. This will be the last time on this side that we have a little bit of more time. And the next time that you lift it up, stay here, bring your gaze towards the front as we step the right foot forward and come right into our half moon. Open it up. Big breath in. Flex through that foot like you're placing a big footprint on the back wall. Nice, and then as we exhale, bring that left hand down, bring that left foot down, forward fold. And we'll go right into the other side. So we're bringing that right knee in towards our chest as the arms reach up overhead. One-legged mountain. Inhale. As we exhale, step it back to those warrior 2 legs, and then we inhale into our reverse, reaching that left arm up and over. Big breath in. Exhale, straighten that leg. Wide twist, so left hand comes down, right arm reaches up as we open it up towards the back. Full breath here. Exhale, bring those fingers to where they're facing towards the back, and then left leg in front of right as we come into our reverse table, lifting up through the hips. Inhale. Exhale, knee draws in. Inhale, straighten. Exhale. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, lower that seat, bring that leg over as we come into our side plank horizon. We can lift and lower. Next time we lift, gaze towards the front, take a step forward with the left foot, and then we open it up, half moon. Inhale. Exhale. Big breath in. On our exhale, bring your hand down, bring your foot down, and we'll go right into our other side. So left knee draws into chest, arms reach up overhead. Exhale, step it back. Inhale to the reverse. Exhale, straighten as we move into that wide twist. Big breath here. Exhale, fingers go to the back and we take that leg through. Inhale, we lift. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, bring that leg over. We inhale, lifting up that hip, reaching the arm overhead. Exhale, gaze forward. Take that step forward and open it up into half moon. Inhaling. Exhale, left hand and foot come down. And then we'll go right into our other side. So right knee comes into chest, arms reach up overhead. Exhale, step it back so that we inhale into the reverse. Exhale, we straighten. And we move into our twist, big inhale. Exhale, fingers face the back and we bring that leg in front. Inhale, lift. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, and bring that leg over as we come into our side plank horizon. And then we gaze forward as we take that step forward, inhaling into our half moon. Exhale, we lower that arm and leg. Inhale, left knee into chest, arms reach. Exhale, we step it back so that we inhale into the reverse. Exhale, straighten for wide twist. Inhale. Exhale, fingers face the back as we bring it through. Inhale, lift. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Bring that leg over. We inhale, lifting up that hip. Exhale, gaze towards the front. Take a step forward as we inhale, half moon. And we exhale, making our way to forward fold. Last side, right knee comes into chest as we reach those arms up. Exhale, step it back so that we inhale to the reverse. We straighten that leg as we exhale, and then left hand lowers as we inhale, twisting. Exhale, bring it all the way through so that we inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale, and bring that leg over. Inhale, lifting up that hip. Exhale, gaze towards the front, take a step forward, half moon. And then we make our way into our forward fold. Woo. How are we doing? That's peanut butter. What do we think? I think it's time for a drink of water for a little bit. But now we have jelly. And jelly starts seated. So if you want to go right there, I don't blame you. Let's go to seated. But yeah, before we move into jelly, that's probably no surprise. We're coming into butterfly pose, so we'll bring the soles of the feet together. You can determine where you need your seat in relation to your heels. And we'll inhale, I release attachment. Exhale and embrace stillness. I release attachment and embrace stillness. All right, we can hinge it forward if we'd like. Maybe let that head relax as we breathe into the hips and the lower back. Big breath in. Exhale. Inhale, we'll reach our arms up overhead. Exhale, we twist towards the right, scissoring those arms. Full breath in here. Exhale. Inhale, bring that right hand down. We swivel those knees to the back, setting up for that thread the needle, where we'll bring that left arm underneath the right. Inhaling. Exhale. And then push into that right palm for spinal balance. Left arm forward, right leg back. Exhale to center. Inhale, we extend. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And then we bring that hand down. We bring that foot through. And we're moving into tree pose. So we'll bring that left foot to the inside of the right leg, wherever we find. And then hands can either come to heart center, or maybe we reach those arms up overhead. Big breath in. Exhale, step it back for Exalted Warrior. So we're gonna lean in towards the right, right arm down, left arm up. Inhale. Exhale. Big breath in. Exhale, we face the other direction as we come into Skandasana, only to come onto our seat. So we're coming into that side lunge to come all the way onto our bum. And then we'll reach for our ankle with our right hand. We'll reach up with the left hand as we lean in towards that leg. So you might bring your hand behind your head as a reminder to sit back and open up through the chest at the same time. Full breath in. Exhale. And then we'll make our way up. We bring the right foot to meet the left foot as we face back forward. And that's what we've got for Jelly. So shift forward, maybe find a little bit more space here. You can also interlace your hands around your feet. Breathing space into those hips. Inhale. Exhale. And then we make our way up as arms reach up overhead. Inhale. Exhale, we twist the other direction. So keeping those scissor arms. Full breath in. Exhale. And then we inhale, bringing that hand down. Right arm reaches up as we bring those knees to the back, setting up for our thread the needle as we tuck that right shoulder underneath. Inhaling here. Exhale. And then push into that left palm, reaching the right arm forward, left leg back for spinal balance. Exhale, bring it to center. Inhale. Exhale, center. Inhale. Exhale, center, and then bring that hand down, bringing that foot all the way through as we come into our tree pose, bringing that right foot to the inside of the left, finding your focal point to focus on. And if you want to grow your tree, cool. If you don't, cool. Ooh, maybe sway a little bit. Big breath in. Exhale, step that right foot back for Exalted. So we're leaning in towards the left as we bring the left arm down, right arm up. Can keep bending that forward knee. Big breath in. Exhale, grounding down through that back foot. We face the other direction, coming into that side lunge all the way onto our seat. And then reaching for the ankle, reaching up as we lean in towards the back. Maybe have that hand behind the head. Full breath here. Exhale. And then we make our way upright. We bring that left leg in so that we face back forward. And we'll start to move more at breath pace. So we inhale, arms reach. Exhale, we twist to the right. Inhale, right hand down, left arm up as we swivel. And then exhale, thread the needle. Inhale, spinal balance. Exhale in. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, bring it all the way through for tree pose. Inhaling here. Exhale, left foot steps back. So we inhale, Exalted. Exhale, grounding down through the back foot. We come all the way into that side lunge, facing the other direction to our seat. We inhale, leaning in towards that leg. Exhale, and then we make our way upright, and feet come together at the front of the mat. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, twist to the left. Inhale, bring it all the way into that thread the needle setup. Exhale, thread that arm underneath. Inhale, spinal balance, right arm, left leg. Exhale to center. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, we'll bring that foot through, coming right into our tree pose. Big breath in. Exhale, step the right leg back. Exalted as you lean in towards the left. Inhale. Exhale, ground down through that back foot. And we side lunge it all the way to the front of the mat as we face the other direction to our seat. Lean in. Exhale. And then make your way upright. Feet come together as we face forward. You're doing awesome. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, we twist to the right. Inhale, set up for that thread. Exhale, we tuck it underneath. Inhale, spinal balance. Exhale to center. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, bringing it through. Tree pose. Full breath in. Exhale, step it back so that we inhale into our exalted. Exhale, ground down through the back foot. Side lunge it all the way to the front to our seat. And then we lean in towards the back. Big breath in. Exhale. Making our way up. Feet come together as we face forward. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, twist towards the left. Inhale, set up. Exhale, tuck that arm underneath. Inhale, spinal balance. Exhale, bring it in. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, bring it all the way through. Tree pose. Exhale, step it back so that we inhale into the exalted, leaning in towards the left. Exhale, ground down, coming all the way onto our seat. And then we find that bend. Inhale. Exhale. And we make our way back up. That's Jelly. How we doing? Take a moment just to let all that sink in. You've done amazing. And guess what? We've come to my favorite part of the practice. It's peanut butter and jelly time, which means we're going to bring these two sequences together one last time. I know you can do this. You can do anything one more time. So we'll meet in mountain pose with enthusiasm. And as we come into this space, I release attachment and embrace stillness. I release attachment and embrace stillness. Let's do this. Inhale, left knee draws into chest, arms reach. As we exhale, step it back, setting up for that reverse. As we inhale, reaching up and back. Exhale, straightens that leg. Moving into our wide twist, we inhale. Exhale, bringing that leg through for that reverse table so that we inhale here. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, and bring that leg over. Inhale, lift up that hip. Exhale, gaze forward. Step it forward as you come into your half moon. And then we bring that left hand down. We bring that leg down to come all the way onto our seat. So it doesn't have to be pretty. We just make our way to our seat. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, we twist to the right. Inhale, setting up for that thread the needle. Exhale, threading it through. Inhale, spinal balance. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, we bring it through and we come into our tree pose. Big breath in. Exhale, we step it back so that we inhale into our exalted. Exhale, ground down through that back foot. And we sink all the way onto our seat. We can lean in towards that leg, maybe have the hand behind our head, or we find somewhere along the leg. Full breath in. Exhale. And we'll make our way upright. We can just come onto our knees, maybe find a little bit of lateral movement here. Maybe even find a down dog here since it's been a while. I'm just gonna check in before we go into the other side, which means the first side is done. And then let's make our way to the front. We'll roll it up. Right knee draws into chest, one-legged mountain. Exhale, step it back so that we inhale into the reverse. Exhale, we straighten. Inhale, we twist. Exhale, bring it through so that we inhale that reverse table. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, we'll bring that leg over. And then we inhale, breathing into that hip. We'll gaze towards the front, taking a step forward as we come into our half moon. And then right hand lowers. We'll bring that right leg down. So we come onto our seat. Again, it doesn't have to be pretty, however you get to your seat. Butterfly pose, we inhale, arms reach. Exhale, we twist to the left. Inhale, bring it all the way into that setup. Exhale, thread it through. Inhale, spinal balance. Exhale, bring it in. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, we'll bring it all the way through for tree pose. Bringing that right foot to the inner thigh as we find our space. And then as we exhale, step it back. Inhaling into the exalted. Exhale, ground down. And then we face the other direction, coming all the way onto our seat. Inhale, lean it in. Big breath here. And then we come upright. You did it. Yay. All right. There's no reason to get up. Just stay on your seat. We'll just check in with our breath. We'll come into our alternate nostril breathing. So we'll make hang loose hands. Bring those 3 fingers down. And we'll close off the right nostril as we inhale in through the left. Close left, exhale right. Inhale right. Close, exhale left. Inhale left. Close, exhale right. And just keep with this rhythm. And once you feel like you've done plenty of rounds, just bring both hands to your knees, breathing through both nostrils. Our alternate nostril breathing is great for getting out of any sort of brain fog. So whether that's just feeling like you're foggy or you're frustrated or you're anxious or whatever gets us out of a present mind state, it's good for. So you might notice that both sides are more equal than they were at the beginning, and that you might feel a little bit more open. So we can close our practice here, or if you want to come into Shavasana, coming onto your back, maybe any closing postures that might be calling your name if you're not quite done with your practice. Otherwise, we'll make our way into a comfortable space where we'll do a scan of the body, starting with the crown of the head and moving all the way down to our toes, giving ourselves permission just to become heavy in this space. So try not to hold yourself up in any way. And as you come into your final space, having a moment of gratitude for showing up to your mat, gratitude for all the hard work that you just put in, and gratitude for this feeling that you created through those things. Be so proud of yourself. You did amazing. Know that I'm proud of you. And then just allow your breath to be soft and your body still. Shavasana. Feel free to stay here as long as you need. But if you're ready, we'll awaken in any way that you like. So maybe full body stretch, maybe just kind of moving around in an organic way. And if you're reclined, we'll roll to one side in a fetal-like pose, our pose for new beginnings. I release attachment and embrace stillness. Take this feeling with you as you leave the mat. That is when our true yoga begins. We meet in a seated position, hands to heart center, our Anjali Mudra, as we tuck our chin under. And we'll close our practice with Namaste. Thank you so much for allowing me to be your guide. See you next time.